knows New Bedford streets because he drives New Bedford streets. Brian the cab driver. This is Brian's Beat on 1420 WBSM, New Bedford's news talk station.
And welcome back to Brian's Beat. Most of the time on Wednesday, we have our educational focus for you. And today, we have the commissioner of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. My first interview with him, and I hope we can have some more, because education is the big ticket item here in the Commonwealth and certainly in the cities and towns. So without further ado, the commissioner, Mitchell Chester. Hello. Welcome to Brian's Beat.
Good morning, Brian. I'm glad to be on with you.
Glad to have you here. You've been here since 2008. You have a son. Is he a product of the schools? What about him?
He is. He's actually the youngest of our 5 children. So 4 are adults and gone, and he is a senior. I'm having trouble getting my arms around this, Brian. So he is graduating in 2 weeks. He attends one of our regional vocational technical high schools in the Commonwealth. You
had the meeting on the future of standardized testing here in the Commonwealth. Where are we exactly? We are, in fact, the top performing state in the nation. But there's a lot of interest in upgrading the test to make sure that it represents the kinds of skills and the kinds of knowledge that the world today expects of a high school graduate, whether that person's heading into a career or whether that person's heading into higher education. And certainly we want people, young people, prepared for civic engagement in life. So we're upgrading our test as we speak. Our goal is to have in place next spring the first year of a next-generation MCAS. Is MCAS 2.0 going to be PARC? No, not at all. I mean, we chose to build a next-generation MCAS because we wanted to represent exactly what the Commonwealth is looking for. I expect that we will take advantage of some of the development that was done with the so-called PARC test. We're one of several states that helped to build a multi-state assessment called the PARC, P-A-R-C-C. So we'll take advantage of the development that was done there. You are a member of the governing board of PARC, and there have been questions, and I raised my hand, wondering about any conflict, not necessarily monetary, but, a conflict because you are on that board. The board that you're referring to are the state education commissioners from the states that participated in building the PARC assessment. I received no compensation for being on that board. This was a joint venture of multiple states. I think that any concern about conflict should have been resolved this past fall, because I did not recommend that we adopt PARC. I had recommended that we build a next-generation MCAS. We are speaking to Mitchell Chester. He is the commissioner of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Glad to have him on the program today. Commissioner, students, parents, teachers, even some school committee members around here saying there's too much teaching to the test. I always ask the question, is this test helpful? Is it informing parents? Is it informing students? And most importantly, is it informing our teachers about what's going well and what they need to modify? And if, in fact, the assessments that they're using are, in fact, helping them to be more strategic and more effective as teachers, then I'm all for it. If, in fact, the test is just a test for the sake of giving another assessment, then I question the value of it. So if teaching to the test means having students think, apply their knowledge, reason, communicate strongly in writing, then I'm all for it. I hear from others that because of teaching to the test, they're missing out on gym class, music class is gone, other arts and curriculum-type classes. You don't see the history anymore in class. Is it really worth it? First of all, I see a range of practices across the Commonwealth. So I'm not universally seeing the arts and music and PE eliminated, or history and civics and social studies. I worry a lot that there are places where those subjects are being given
short attention at best, and a lot of that is budgetary, is not just about the emphasis on making sure students are literate and know their math. I don't apologize for expecting our schools to deliver strong literacy and strong quantitative reasoning skills, mathematics. I think that any young person graduating high school without strong skills in literacy, reading and writing, in mathematics, has very limited options in this world.
How do you feel when Michigan officials are on record now saying they want to adopt the Massachusetts frameworks from the early 2000s, and, of course, the ballot question that could just wipe out Common Core here in the Commonwealth? What's the plan B?
Well, we're looking at our 2010 curriculum. We call them curriculum frameworks. We call them standards. We use these various terms, Brian, in our field. It's not a curriculum, right? The state does not tell districts what textbooks to use, what materials to use, but we do identify learning outcomes, the kinds of expectations for academics that we expect in the various subjects. We revised our frameworks in English, language arts, and math back in 2010. They incorporated what's referred to as the Common Core, but they went beyond that. We're in the process today of reviewing those and upgrading them. We now have 5 years of experience with those 2010 frameworks. So we're getting input from our teachers, our administrators, our citizens. Anybody listening to this program can go to our website and respond to a survey. We're asking folks what's working, what's not working, what do we need to change. So we're committed to upgrading those based on the experience we've had over the last 5 years with them.
The Hayden McFadden School, we know it's at level 4. Why is it necessary for the entire staff to reapply if they want to continue to work at that school?
Yeah, so I'm very concerned about the lack of progress at Hayden McFadden School. I know that Superintendent Durkin is equally concerned. They are developing a turnaround plan that I will be reviewing, so I haven't reviewed that plan yet. But I know that business as usual at Hayden McFadden isn't going to result in better outcomes for students. So one way or another, we need to turn that school around. And I have a lot of confidence in Superintendent Durkin, and I'll look forward to seeing the plan that she gives me for that.
So you haven't had a chance to view it yet?
I have not. I have not reviewed it yet.
Brian's Beat.
I'm hoping you enjoyed the interview with Mitchell Chester, the Education Commissioner for the Commonwealth. We'll have more stuff coming up for you in the very near future. In fact, on Friday's program, we're going to talk to Chris Gomes. He runs Veterans Affairs for the city of New Bedford. He's going to be on our program talking about Memorial Day weekend programs that are going to be taking place in and throughout the area. As far as today's program goes, a yes or a no from what you heard from the... Again, thank you for joining us on the Educational Focus on Brian's Beat.